North Carolina tomorrow night in Charlotte. You can hear the broadcast at 7 o'clock on 1010 a.m. It's 68 degrees at noon. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, get ready to spend the next 2 hours with our three sports-loving ladies. Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl.
Hey, hey.
This is Helmets and Heels.
On 1010XL, switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans. Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor.
Show me what you got, pretty lady.
Call me crazy, but I really thought the Jaguars might actually pull off the upset yesterday and defeat the Jets. Before we get into serious football talk, Mia, in just a few minutes, there's going to be a major concert announcement.
Ooh.
And we will be the ones telling everyone.
I love that.
Who the
An honor and a
singer
privilege.
is. That's right.
Where are they
And
coming to?
They are coming to Jacksonville,
Okay. Well,
to Daly's Place.
all right. That's what I was going to say, the venue. All right. Cool.
And they are a superstar, and we're going to not just tell you who that is very shortly, but we're also going to give away 3 pairs of tickets to go see said artist before you can even buy them. So be listening to our show all day today for that. But yes, let's get into the fact that the Jaguars did lose to the New York Jets 32-25. Of course, the Jaguars now 3-11. To me, Mia, how on earth do you leave, and I tweeted this, how on earth do you leave Devontae Adams that wide open? I just don't understand. And I know everyone's responses of, that's what this defense has done all season long. I get that. But he's the best player on the team, and he's gashing you. How is he that wide open?
By the way, Devontae Adams, 2 targets, 0 catches in the first half. I'm sure those of you who have been listening to the Superstation and post-game yesterday have already heard that. But for those who haven't, the reality is he did nothing. Literally nothing in the first half. So what changed in the second half? And I understand that the message coming out of the locker room from the players and from Doug Peterson at the podium was once again execution and the lack thereof. You can point to that. Did the Jets change anything? I asked Jarian Jones, and he said no, they didn't change anything. We just didn't execute. But how much of that is coach speak and locker room speak, if you may, versus the reality of they just forgot about him? Because if they forgot about him, then who is holding the players accountable becomes another question to have.
To me, in the first half, and we both watched it from the press box up close, Aaron Rodgers was just a little bit off. And in the second half, he was fantastic. That's how I saw it, is you had a little bit of miscues.
That's minimally athletic Aaron Rodgers to you, in his own words, Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, he was boot scooting and boogieing across that
45
field.
rushing yards.
I mean, at first I thought, well, Mac Jones and his rushing is going to be the story of this game if the Jaguars actually win. But then, yeah, Aaron Rodgers with 45 rushing yards was crazy. But, yeah, it just, to me, the Jets' offense wasn't firing on all cylinders in the first half. And then, obviously, it had the explosive plays in the second half. And then, of course, you are to blame the Jags' defense. The secondary and the interior of the defensive line have been 2 of the biggest issues all season long. It does feel like Eric Armstead is playing, but is a complete non-factor. And yes, we had the 1 sack from Jeremiah Ledbetter. Love the backflip. But overall, the secondary has had busted coverages all season, and the interior of the defensive line gets absolutely no push.
I don't even know where to begin. And, that's the scary part, is we were told this past offseason, we were told that the defensive coaching staff was largely let go because of
the collapse last year.
Yes. At the podium, on the record, yes, it was the collapse, and they basically blamed it all on the defense. Now, behind closed doors, as myself and some others have reported, it was a lot of lackadaisical energy. I think that's a good way to describe it. Lackadaisical energy from the coaching staff that was let go. And so you brought in Ryan Nielsen and Chris Richard because of attention to detail, accountability, a firm voice that would hold players accountable when they weren't playing up to snuff. And they are not playing up to snuff right now. And I don't know who's holding them accountable, Lauren, because it's largely the same roster as it was a season ago. Yes, you certainly added Eric Armstead. You certainly added rookies in Mason Smith and Jarian Jones. But other than that, It's the same roster that we were told was not the problem a season ago on the defensive side of the ball. And that's where, regardless of who is making the decisions in 2025, it's going to have to truly be retooled. Not the coaching staff. That's probably going to have to be retooled too, needless to say, but the personnel group itself. And that is where, yes, if there is to be a head coaching vacancy, if there's to be a general manager vacancy, you can look at Jacksonville and say it's extremely viable and they have the quarterback, even though I see some holdovers from Jaguars today on the text line, Design My Lifetime Enclosures. Now they're calling Trevor Fabio Bortles. That's a new one. Never heard that one before. There are those of you who don't agree with the quarterback, and that's all fine and good, but
Trevor hasn't been playing.
I can tell.
Where's the angst on Trevor now?
Yeah, they get so upset that when you merely suggest, Lauren, that this is a viable opportunity if it is to open for premier candidates, and part of that is because of the quarterback who is under contract, they get very frustrated. Many do here in Duval because he's not the premier quarterback, even though the rest of the league outside of Duval County tells me that he is. Anyways, I digress. Point being, yes, you have the owner who's willing to spend money. Yes, you have the shiny new stadium coming. Yes, you have the quarterback. You have Brian Thomas Jr. You have a couple other weapons. But that defense is going to need a complete makeover, not just within the coaching staff, but I think in the personnel as well. Look, 41 and 44 are going to be here. And I think you have some pieces in the secondary that they're not reaching their full potential. And I think part of that is coaching. So they will be here as well. And the hope is that with better coaching, they will reach that full potential. But I think you're going to have to really evaluate that side of the roster.
It feels like it's the worst. And watching it week in and week out, it feels like it's the worst in all of the NFL. And I understand last week the Jaguars only surrendered 6 points to the Titans. But overall, most weeks, there are those times where just when you start to think that the offense has a little bit of momentum, and whether it's Trevor Lawrence playing, whether it's Mac Jones playing, then the defense gives up those huge plays. And the explosives, as you allow those, you can't come back from those a lot of times. And yes, in theory, the Jaguars did have an opportunity to go down to tie the ball game back at 32, or if Doug had elected to go for 2, potentially win the ball game there at that point in time, and Mac Jones threw the interception. But that's, I mean, no offense to Mac Jones, but that's kind of who he is at this point in his career. He's a guy that can dink and dunk his way down the field, but his deep ball is not good. And if you want to critique Trevor Lawrence, there's one thing I can tell you. Trevor Lawrence's deep ball is excellent.
Since I brought it up, let's address the text line, Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can get in on the conversation at 641-1010. Lauren, Mr. Fabio Bortles, I may actually start calling you that, our friend in Washington State. I think that's an affectionate name we can title you as on the text line, Designed by Lifetime Enclosures, is now defending himself. He's saying, that's not true. The reporter you had on Friday said he's an average quarterback. The reporter we had on Friday is an ESPN New York talk show host named Jake Asman, who covers the Jets. And while, yes, he does have an eye on the rest of the league, he is central to the New York area where Trevor Lawrence was once predestined to end up and did not because of a collapse, or rather a resurgence by the 2020 New York Jets. So just file that one away. And I can say that because Jake is a friend of mine. You have to understand the New York media, the New York fan base are still butthurt from 2020, in which they were left to select Zach Wilson second overall and are still dealing with the repercussions of that draft class.
Well, you could have had Sam Darnold because you did have him, you drafted him, and you moved on from him. But as it relates to Jacksonville, yeah, there's always going to be controversy when it comes to quarterbacks, unless your quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. There was even controversy surrounding Jalen Hurts and whether or not he was any good, right? And you had a little bit of drama in Philadelphia, but they squashed that this week.
For now.
Right. There are very few.
It's a roller coaster up there in Philly. I mean, they're not too far from the New York area. It seeps down through the Garden State.
Tonga Tuivasa this whole offseason. Should the Miami Dolphins pay him? Should they not? Right? Jordan Love for the Packers. You didn't get to see that much. Should they pay? There's always going to be the people that do not believe that Trevor Lawrence can win this team a Super Bowl. That's not the issue right now here in Jacksonville. It's not Trevor Lawrence. The issue is it is catastrophically bad in so many different areas.
Now that we've addressed Fabio, 860, this leads right to that point, Lauren. I would like to start today with an apology to Lawrence Taylor. I think he means Trevor Lawrence. After watching him play under Peterson for a couple of years, I would say he was great at throwing the football, was pathetic with game management and situational play. Ouch. Now, after watching Mac Jones have the same problems, I realize now that it is incompetent coaching to have 2 games in one season end on interceptions when the defense is only preventing the end zone is beyond unacceptable.
Well, I think unacceptable is a good word because that's where this team is. At 3-11, you showed virtually no energy in your home opener this year against the Browns. They were, if you want to use the word lackadaisical, they were lackadaisical in week 2 in the home opener. That was unacceptable. The blowout against the Bills, the way that the Jags played the Bears, those were unacceptable games. And then fast forward, of course, to against the Lions. I understand why people are frustrated and mad, and shout out to all the Jags fans that did go yesterday. Obviously, it wasn't sold out by any means, but they were into it. They were having a great time. They were loud. It's hard to be excited about this team, and a lot of Jags fans were yesterday. And so we're just going to keep talking about how broken it is, and we can't talk about the future until Shad Khan makes a decision, and we can't force his hand. I believe he's not going to make any of those decisions until this season is completely over. Maybe he was holding on to hope that the Jags were going to go 5-0 down the stretch. That was not going to happen. The Jets were always a better football team than the Jaguars this season.
I just love how the text line and the feedback that I'm seeing, and it's not just on the text line, by the way, Lauren, it's also on the MyBookie Digital Studio. I saw it on X last night. How does this go back to Trevor Lawrence? I'm still fixated by this. Of all the things that are broken on this team, and for all the reasons that there will be changes, I believe, at multiple positions, both on the roster and on the staff and in the front office this offseason. How is this going back to the quarterback who hasn't played in a couple of weeks because he's having surgery and because he took a cheap shot and is still in concussion protocol?
Well, if you want to debate, is Trevor Lawrence playing at the level where everyone predicted he would be at this point in his career? This is his 4th season.
But why are we talking about this in light of yesterday? How are we still here?
Because they don't believe, some fans don't believe that Trevor's ever going to be good. And so we can talk about a new GM, we can talk about a new coach, but if they don't believe in Trevor, then they think the future of this organization, and oh, by the way, he signed a very long-term deal. So they believe the future of this organization is never going to go anywhere with him at the helm.
Okay. I invite you some names since I see 657 wants names. I'm going to give you names. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold. I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel. I feel like I have to say those 3 names each and every week here on Helmets and Heels and on a Big Chief Tire Monday. What do all 3 of those names have in common? Yes, they were left on the scrap heap. Am I looking for Trevor Lawrence to be thrown onto a scrap heap? No. You want to know what else those 3 quarterbacks have in common? Elite play callers. They finally got a coach who not only has developed them, but has developed the ecosystem around them. And we can debate the chicken or the egg question all you want, but the reality is that coming out of college, and you can subscribe to this theory all you want, coming out of high school, in terms of God-given ability, Trevor Lawrence had more of that than those 3 players. And you could talk about moxie and IQ, especially when it comes to Mayfield, all you want, and I would love to hear that conversation. But the point is, Lauren, the players, yes, it's about Jimmys and Joes, not X's and O's, which I would like to think, again, Trevor Lawrence, God-given ability, but the X's and O's matter a bit too.
That they do, and I don't think he really had enough weapons until this season. I think this is the first season where he's had a legit tight end and multiple legit wide receivers. And now at least we're seeing one of those flourish even without Trevor Lawrence, and that is Brian Thomas Jr. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is, he's going to get his. And that's been by far to me the best part about this season. That's it. I can't give you much positivity in a 3-win season other than number 7.
And it's huge because you've seen consistency from him the last few weeks that traditionally from a rookie you don't see at any position. The idea of he has had, we're now at 5 100-plus yard games, I believe it is, in 14 games this season. That in and of itself, when they throw him the football, because he's got a couple of games in there where obviously he was only targeted 6 times, that I think is where, as we do look towards 2025, and I said this, I believe, on Friday, Lauren, because I was so fascinated to see if Sauce Gardner would travel with Brian Thomas Jr. He traditionally doesn't travel with a wide receiver number 1, as the aforementioned Jake Asman brought up to us, and Will Parkinson told us on the kickoff show yesterday. He doesn't traditionally travel with a number 1. I think they did at times have to have him because DJ Reed did not play on the other side. They were down to their 3rd-string corner opposite Sauce Gardner. And Brian Thomas Jr. still found ways to get open. And that was when they were rolling safety help over the top. And I'm so fascinated to see going into his second season in the NFL how teams account for him. I said this to our friends, our content producers, John O'Leary and Jacob Simmons, as we were driving to our parking lot from parking lot A to parking lot B, leaving the stadium yesterday.
By the way, 2 100-plus yard games.
Oh, it's 2. Okay,
Yeah.
got you. But yesterday was his first in double figures when it comes to receptions. I said this to Jacob and John as we were driving to the car yesterday. This is not a Laviska Shenault situation, where Laviska Shenault had a lot of bright spots in his rookie year in 2020. And certainly I think the coaching staff change and the dysfunction that came along with Urban Meyer resulted in his regression in year 2. But I also think because by nature of his skill set, defenses were able to have a full season's worth of tape and figure out exactly where his weaknesses were. I am fascinated to see if defenses are able to find a weakness in his game this offseason and then capitalize on it next year. And that is a very rare air to put a 21-year-old rookie in, but I'm willing to do so. I know the Duval Rundown is going to break down BTJ against some pretty heralded wide receivers tomorrow. Gus already let me know that that'll be the topic tomorrow, and I'm excited to hear about it because I do think we're at a point where, and I don't know, maybe it is the cloud coverage that we heard about after the Eagles game. Maybe that's the kryptonite, but I'm fascinated to see if defenses can actually adjust to him and if he can respond accordingly, because right now they're throwing the kitchen sink at him and they still aren't finding ways to stop him so long as his quarterback can get him the football.
Yeah, they've asked Brian Thomas Jr. to do more every single week, and he is flourishing in this role. And look, I hope that there's another talented receiver playing opposite him next year. And so it's not all the focus on Brian Thomas Jr. There's another guy there that has to also account, or the other teams have to account for, because they can stretch the field as well. He is so polished already that's been, like I said, the really only bright spot. All right, concert announcement time. We'll have tickets coming up, but it will be Shania Twain coming to Daly's Place. That will be Tuesday, July 29th. So summertime. That's right. Round of applause, RJ. Shania Twain. If you love 90s country, I know you love Shania Twain. We will have tickets to give away throughout the show today. I'll be there on July 29th. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. You are listening to Helmets and Heels. It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online at wekeepjacksrollin.com. They'll take care of all of your vehicle needs. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ultimate tailgate.
You could win a weekly tailgate combo pack from Southern Steer Butcher, valued at $100. And monthly winners get a Corona tailgate tent with a cooler, chair, and collectible football. Enter at 1010XL.com.
Yo, what's happening, fellas? It's your boy E to the T, and I'm going to keep it real. We could all benefit from a little something extra in the bedroom. Blue Chew can help. Now I'm about to tell you how you can get some for free. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. No doctor visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew ships right to your door in a discreet package. Not even them nosy neighbors gonna know what's going on. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. And did I mention the chewable? Just like popping a Mentos. And they're made right here in the good old US of A. Now you're asking, how do I get my Blue Chew? Visit BlueChew.com and make sure to enter promo code 1010XL at checkout. Try it for free and just pay $5 shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's right. Use promo code 1010XL and let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
Mia here for Duck Duck Rooter. The holidays are coming, and so is your family. Is your septic system ready? What about that leaky kitchen faucet? Or that toilet that's been struggling to flush? Don't let plumbing chaos steal your holiday cheer. Call Duck Duck Rooter today to fix those issues before Aunt Linda and Cousin Earl blame you for ruining Christmas. Call 904-862-6769 or visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Value or flavor? Price or taste? Why choose when you can get both with everyday deals at Sonny's? Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, and all you can eat ribs for just $19.99. Yep, you heard right. All your favorites are now available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barry here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barry Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit BarryOrthopedics.com.
We're HAPPY, because Happy Honda Days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss Happy Honda Days, going on now at your local Honda dealer. It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on helmets and heels.
It's holiday time at Best Bet St. Augustine and Orange Park. Get ready for thrilling promotions and tournaments all month long. Don't miss the 12 days of Christmas high hands with over $330,000 in payouts and the Clockwork Cash Out Table Games promotion, giving away $300 in cash every 15 minutes on select weekends. Celebrate the season with nonstop excitement at Best Bet. For all the details, head over to bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O. If you want high-quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy, Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the water boy at waterboyjack.com.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Favor, and Captain Kirk Waltz. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning, 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners, financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Brian Thomas Jr. took the Jets to school Sunday in Duval. The teal and black wideout recorded 105 yards on 10 receptions and tallied 2 touchdowns on what was a special day. Number 7 isn't lucky. He's just that damn good. Brian Thomas Jr. is your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
This holiday season, Universal Roof and Contracting is making it easy to check roof repairs off your list. Get 15% off roof repairs or replacement, plus a $250 gift card to brighten your holiday shopping. Get flexible financing with payments as low as $150 a month and free roof inspections. Secure your home and your savings today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
We got the beat. We've got the beat, all right. The Brooks Beat. Here's Lauren Brooks. Let's go, girls. Come on. I'm going out tonight. I'm feeling alright. Gonna let it all hang out. Wanna make some noise. Really raise my voice. Yeah, I wanna scream and shout.
She has a lot of hits, but certainly this is a big one. Man, I feel like a woman. If you want to go see Shania Twain on Tuesday, July 29th at Daly's Place, The call number 4, 641-1010. Call number 4, 641-1010. And you will be, like me, seeing Shania Twain. The tickets will go on sale later this week on Ticketmaster.com. So make sure that you buy your tickets starting on Friday at 10 a.m. If you don't win them today, we do have 2 more pairs to give away, though.
What's your go-to karaoke song, Lauren? This is in my top 3. That's why I asked.
Oh, okay. I like the song that we closed out the show every day with, which is Nancy Sinatra's song, These Boots Are Made for Walking. She's a lower
Any
octave.
others? Oh, okay.
I mean, I have a few.
I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but as you could tell by my enthusiasm for the question, I am a habitual addicted to karaoke endorser. So yeah.
I also like Goodbye Earl by the Dixie Chicks.
That's a
We're
good
Not
one.
the Chicks.
I do like that one. That's a great one. I will let you know
They're all country.
since we do play a lot of Lainey Wilson on the program here. Not to spoil. I'm not going to spoil the Yellowstone finale.
Please don't.
Lainey Wilson does make an appearance once again, though, and I just forgot how great Lainey Wilson is. And I was like humming her songs all night. And all
she's
morning.
got a great voice.
And Kevin was like, just calm down over there. And he's like, what are you doing? Like, you're like spazzing out doing like, hey, little bunny.
Hang tight, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
But
good
I was
one.
just humming it. And he was like, what is wrong with you? Are you spazzing out over there? No, I'm just singing Lainey Wilson in my brain.
I love it. All right. So as far
Maybe
as
I'll add it to the karaoke routine. Probably not. But anyhow, I digress.
As far as going back to the Jags, lost to the Jets yesterday, 32-25. You had some interesting conversations in the locker room, yes?
Yes, and there's a couple of you on the text line, which I tried to get to a lot of you. We really lit the phone lines up with our conversation surrounding the quarterback, despite the fact that your starting quarterback did not play yesterday and is out for the season due to injury. I tried to get back to as many of you as possible, especially with those of you who have questions about the game at hand and not just the big picture questions. But a couple of you asked, all right, what was the frustration in the locker room? Well, here is Jarian Jones. Myself and Jamal St. Cyr caught up with him post-game after the loss to the Jets. And look, Jarian, as you will hear, takes accountability, especially for the 170-plus yard reception by Davante Adams all the way to the 1-yard line. He understands on that crossing route himself and the 2 linebackers bit and they did not follow the crossing route by Davante Adams, and that's why he was uncovered on that 4th down play. And so he takes accountability, Lauren, which I think is important because like we alluded to in the first segment, I'm not sure there is always accountability being taken right now. He certainly does. And as someone who, yes, lost a good chunk of the time early on in his college career, but finished his college career 13-1, Jarian Jones wants to win, and that frustration, it appears, for this rookie class is finally settling in.
I don't know. We just got to be better. I guess in the moment, got to find a way to win. That's really it. Got to execute better, find a way to win. And this is not me, you know what I'm saying, talking about anyone or anybody, because I missed the key tackle that we had to have, so it's just we just got to all be better.
Is it something that kind of flips and switches some teams, some guys, crunch time and the plays just get made? Is that a thing? Is it?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't really know. I don't know.
You said it this week. You've never really been in a situation quite like this, and you pride yourself on being a winner. How can you guys flip that switch in the next 3 weeks?
Yeah. Me personally, I'm going to keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? That's all I know how to do is keep going. You know what I'm saying? Keep being me, keep fighting, at the end of the day, we just got to find a way to do it. I don't know what we got to do strategically or, you know what I'm saying, internally or whatever we got to do, but we just got to find a way to win. This is not it.
And I understand those are not maybe the fighting words of Jalen Ramsey circa 2016, 2017, 2018 that a lot of you would like to hear. But I think that's as close as we've gotten from this rookie group, Lauren, in terms of, hey, we were told we were coming here to be a playoff contender, and we're not. And worse yet, we're in all of these games, and you should be in all of these games in the NFL because most NFL games, as Doug Peterson has alluded to more than once, come down to 3 or 4 plays. And it's frustrating that those 3 or 4 plays continue to not go the Jags' way. But until that locker room is able to, I don't want to say get angry because, again, circa 2018, getting angry got the Jaguars where? It got them the number 7 overall pick and to a 5-11 record. So I don't think getting angry is the answer either. But I think saying enough is enough. And I think that's as close as we've gotten to enough is enough from a player.
Well, at least we're not talking about them quitting and them being soft, but we are talking about a defense that has gaping holes. And I don't ever usually call out like one particular player and say that player is the reason the team lost the game, because it's usually more than just one player. But it does feel like if Devin Lloyd was in the right spot at times, like this team might have won a few more games.
On the other side of that, though, if that's not Devin Lloyd's skill set to be dropping back into coverage, if he's grading out as one of PFF's best run defenders, if when you actually ask him to rush the quarterback, he can, like he did at the college level, why are you setting up a system in which he's dropping back in coverage and he's the player on the field in that passing down?
Right. And why did Ventrell Miller play so few snaps yesterday when he's been a bright spot?
Bingo.
It doesn't.
And can run from sideline to sideline.
Right. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And so, yes, it's obviously there's coaching issues. But on field, there's times that players aren't making plays. And look, Jarian Jones, you can say all you want about Ryan Nielsen and the scheme and the rotations and all the things, but Jarian Jones missed 2 tackles yesterday. That's not coaching when you miss a tackle. That's you taking the wrong angle. I mean, I guess some people would say
that is coaching.
That was coaching when he was younger and all that stuff. But that was just
they coach 101 now, though, too.
Yeah, but that was just 2 misplays that I know if it happens next week, Jarian Jones makes those tackles.
So, again, correct. Chicken or the egg, though. Is that on? So it's
both is the answer.
Correct. Both is the answer. But is that on the player, who, mind you, was the player of the game the week prior,
right?
Simply having a roller coaster ride of a rookie season, which is normal. Again, BTJ is the outlier that outside of the 4 or 5 games where Press Taylor has decided to not target him, if you throw him the ball, he's been consistent. When it comes to a rookie like Jarian, you are going to experience those ups and those downs. So I give him a pass there. But to that point, is that the player just to the point of some of our listeners not having the IQ, not having coming into the National Football League with the skill set to know to take the right angle? Or is that on the coaches to teach him how to do that? Because that's where, again, that question of,
right, but
did this go wrong because of the personnel, or is this going wrong because of coaching?
The missed tackles I put on the players. I do think, yes, in a scheme where they're lined up and things like that, that matters. But missing a tackle that's an instantaneous reaction. That's not a coaching thing, in my opinion. That's just Jarian took the bad angle twice yesterday and just, I think, probably got a little overly excited to make those tackles because he had a great week the week before, and everyone's trying to play the hero, which is also why Mac Jones throws that second interception instead of continuing to do what had been working, which is the shorter passes or maybe run the ball in that situation. But on second down, he decides to go deep again with
or
the
is
football.
that what was asked of him?
And
sorry, did I say that out loud? Continue, Lauren.
Right. I understand, like, when we criticize Trevor Lawrence for throwing the interception against the Eagles, right? Why on earth did they have Trevor throwing the ball to the third string running back?
As the primary read.
Correct, as the primary read. That, to me, that's on the coaches. Trevor should have known to throw it away, but that's on the coaches for dialing that up. Yesterday, I don't think it was the coaches necessarily who said, Mac, I want you to throw the ball deep at that point in time, towards the end of the game. I think that's Mac getting excited because he's had a few different runs. He had a spin move. Yes, he had the interception early, but overall, he's played fairly well. And now he's like, I'm going to get this win in front of the hometown team, my hometown team, and I'm going to make it happen. And he just had a bad read.
Or maybe there were 2 plays he could have gone to, and that's what they drew up.
And that's certainly a possibility because we're not in that room. We're not on the headset. We don't know exactly what was drawn up. But that's just my feeling from watching the game yesterday is some of the young guys got excited to be able to make a play, and they pressed a little bit.
Well, speaking of the play calling, since this conversation does tend to shift there. And again, chicken or the egg, is it the players? Is it the coaches? Anton Harrison is usually one of the more quiet, reserved, filtered. We love Ton's takes on food. Has had an up and down second year in the National Football League. But he tends to be, for the most part, he's a great soundbite, but he tends to be a little bit more reserved and filtered. This is probably as close as I can get to speaking with Anton and saying, ooh, that's kind of a subtle shot. And he does backtrack on it. But I asked him about the run game for the Jaguars yesterday.
Yeah, it was with the runs that was called. I do feel like they were obviously the game didn't go how we wanted. We was in certain situations where we couldn't run the ball, things like that. But all in all, I feel like it went carried over.
Do you feel like this offensive line is your strength, the run game, in some ways?
I wouldn't say strength. We love the run block, so I say it's something we love. So you could say it. We love the run block. So yeah, but pass pro is what we do too. So it's kind of 50-50 with both.
Sorry, RJ, I didn't realize if we actually had the question on the front end of it. I asked him specifically that it felt like this Jags team, Lauren, was moving people in the first quarter and arguably in the second quarter as well in the run game. And then in the second half, what happened? Do you feel like it actually carried over? And that's where he said, when we did call run plays, I thought we executed. The situations did not dictate running the ball because we were playing from behind, although this was never more than a one-score game, so I'm not even sure if that's a good enough excuse.
Yeah, the Jags had the lead to start the half. So, and I understand the Packers. The Jets got the ball. I have Aaron Rodgers, Packers in my head apparently. But they got the ball to start. But still, like, I don't think that being in that deficit is a reason why you should go away from something that was working. And I get it. Every week we're going to say, run the ball more, get the ball to BTJ, right? For a while it was Tank Bigsby needs the ball, Travis Etienne is washed up. Okay, Etienne looked really good
yesterday. He looked great yesterday.
Bigsby had 2 ball security issues yesterday.
Mm-hmm. But when he wasn't fumbling the football, which both were recovered, I thought he ran hard too. Again, you can have both of those things coexisting in the world. And again, if you are down, if only on paper, you are down your top 3 pass catching options heading into the season. So you have your all-star rookie who logic would suggest is going to be double teamed because he is the go-to target in the passing game. And you could make the argument your next 2 best players on offense are your 2 running backs. Why are you not getting them the football in some form or fashion? Especially when they're averaging more than 4 yards per carry combined. And just let me do some quick math here, Lauren. You run it on first down, you pick up 4 yards. Okay, so that's okay. You're 2nd and 6. Okay, you run it again. Now it's 3rd and 2. You run it again. I don't know. The numbers would seem to suggest that because you were having success, that even if it required a lengthier drive because maybe you weren't picking up as many yards on each play as you might in the passing game, you probably want to stick with getting your best players the football, right?
But if, in theory, they had decided that their best player is Brian Thomas Jr. So that's
they got him the football too. But
they did. But that's why I feel like they went away from the run is because they said we got to keep getting it to number 7.
But you also got to change it up a little bit.
But they haven't done that all season.
Yeah.
And nor did they do it last season.
Right.
So why would we expect that now? All right, we will continue the football conversation. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday on 10 to Next on 92.5 FM.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, visit one of the Florida Blue pop-up enrollment tents near you. They make the process easy and stress-free, with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Find a pop-up tent in the Rose parking lot on Beach Boulevard near Southside and at Night of Wonders at the Orange Park Mall. Here's a reminder for Florida Blue members. You can access Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations around town offering primary care, walk-in services, an on-site pharmacy, and mental health support. 3 Sanitas Medical Centers and 2 convenient Florida Blue pop-up enrollment sites combined for a winning team in Northeast Florida insurance coverage.
Mia here for my friends at MyBookie. Tonight we have a doubleheader of Monday Night Football. So in case you didn't have a profitable betting weekend, you have another 2 opportunities here this evening. Let's begin with Game 1. Taylor Dahl's Chicago Bears facing the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota already has clinched a playoff spot. They are a 7-point favorite, but we know how good the Bears have been against the spread. In Game 2, the Raiders, who the Jaguars will face next week, face the Atlanta Falcons, who are reeling, folks. Kirko and company, 5.5-point favorites against Las Vegas. If there was ever a get-right game in the ATL, this has to be the one, right? I'm kind of tempted, though, by that over-under total of 44.5. MyBookie is still the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football only with MyBookie.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Here in North Florida, you know that when temperatures go up and your AC goes out, you need help now. Like right now. Like lickety-split. So why not call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service for your AC? Now, I bet you've seen their trucks all over town because they've got dozens of certified technicians ready to repair not only your AC, but your home's plumbing and electrical, too. So when you want it done right and you need it done right now, call Lickety Split, AC, Plumbing, and Electric.
Mia here, and when I was buying a new construction home last summer, there was no question. Dreamfinders Homes was the builder for me. A big reason why? Their unbeatable interest rates. Right now, you could take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. Hold up. Let me say that again. This is basically unheard of, folks. 2.99% year one rate. Wow. Find your dream home, take advantage of unbeatable rates, and move in today. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 16, 1973, NFL running back O.J. Simpson becomes the first NFL running back to rush for 2,000 yards in one season, accomplishing the feat in 14 games.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account, with the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Doug Peterson on the performance of Brenton Strange and Brian Thomas Jr. on Sunday against the Jets.
You know what? I couldn't be more happy for both those guys. This was a great opportunity for Brenton. He really rose to the occasion, and you talk about a great, humble kid that plays tough, plays physical, and the type of player that we know that he is. And then, of course, BT, you just see a top receiver in this league. I mean, he's a good young receiver that's going to continue to get better, and as we get Trevor back and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a good combination to build around.
Doug Peterson in the postgame on Sunday with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update. I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Kept classy by First Coast Lighting and Fans. Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor.
On 1010XL.
Jags 6 out of 10 on third. Mack drops, fires, middle of the field, caught Brian Thomas Jr. inside the 10, inside the 5, toward the goal line. Touchdown! Mac Jones to Brian Thomas Jr. and the Jags have retaken the lead.
It was fun while it lasted, but yes, Brian Thomas Jr. set the franchise record for most touchdowns by a Jaguars rookie, usurping Allen Hurns, and passed Justin Blackmon. Man, it's been forever since he played here.
Honestly, it was kind of funny when they said he passed Justin Blackmon. I'm like,
most receiving yards by a rookie, 865 is what Blackmon had. What was that, 2013? 13?
Yeah. 2012?
Yeah.
2012.
Say,
no,
I think it was
2012. 2012.
Yeah, so it's been a long time. Brian Thomas Jr. is also tied with Justin Blackmon for most catches by a rookie, but of course, assuming he gets to play in the next 3 games, he'll have at least 1 catch, hopefully, and he'll have that record as well. We've, of course, talked about him all season long as being a deep threat, but he's so much more than that. He can do everything, and I understand that when he was at LSU, a lot more attention went to Malik Neighbors than to him. But my goodness, it's good to see a rookie wide receiver in Jacksonville make this type of a splash.
Yes, and I think that what you're seeing, unlike, and again, we've had a lot of chicken or the egg questions, I think, today, but I'm curious your take on this one, Lauren. Last year, a lot of the shortcomings with Calvin Ridley in the lineup, a lot of that was attributed to, hey, he's a circle peg and you're trying to fit him into a square hole, right? His best route is a slant, and he ran 3 slant routes, I think, all of last year because you needed him to stretch the top, just to take the top off, stretch the field. Tried to combine 2 cliches there. Because you did not have that receiver on your roster, and if you did, it would have been Zay Jones, and Zay Jones was so banged up. And what you are seeing with BTJ is a player who can do both of those things. So the argument for him in the pre-draft process was, can he run a full route tree? Because he was an X or a Z stretch the field receiver at LSU, because that's all they needed him to do, because that's how that offense was largely structured. Now, he did run other routes.
People should have known that he was going to be capable of more because of the fact that he led the nation in the receiving touchdowns, because the field is shorter when you're in the red zone. So he was able to
slot fade, yeah.
He was able to create space in a much shorter, tighter window.
Right, but the point is that most of his highlights were, hey, let's BTJ down there somewhere. Jaden Daniels going to air it out, and he's down there somewhere. That's not to say, to your point, that he didn't have some that were in a more compressed area of the field.
23 total receiving touchdowns is impressive.
Right, correct. But the point, my larger point is that unlike Calvin Ridley, where you miscast him, I think even if you were to have miscast Brian Thomas Jr. and said, okay, we're going to use him over the middle of the field, well, guess what? He runs a pretty good slant route, too. When he turned on the Jets on that second touchdown on the Jets, pun intended, that showed me everything I need to know in terms of his ability to, A, run the route tree, B, give effort, C, the speed, which is what he believed was his biggest skill set, or his biggest skill coming into the National Football League.
To me, the biggest difference between Calvin Ridley and Brian Thomas Jr. to this point is one of them knows the playbook and the other one doesn't. Didn't. And so Calvin Ridley, while, yes, they could have used him in different ways last year, there were times that he was in the wrong spot or he ran the wrong route. Other than a handful of times this season, I can remember Trevor and Brian Thomas Jr. or Mac and Brian Thomas Jr. kind of looking at each other like, all right, we need to figure out that miscommunication. But outside of that, he knows the playbook. And I think he takes football so incredibly seriously. And I'm not saying Calvin doesn't take it seriously after he had the time off from the gambling suspension and all that and injuries, but it feels like Brian Thomas Jr. knows that he can be one of the best receivers in all of the league, and he's going to work incredibly hard, and he's going to know the playbook inside and out. And Calvin Ridley, I mean, yeah, he went to Tennessee, and that was probably the biggest mistake he's made yet of his career outside of gambling on football.
Yeah, they want to fire Brian Callahan a year in. Back to the X's and O's side of this and back to the agenda. Crossing routes. Slant route. Why did Calvin Ridley only run 3 or 4 slant routes last season here in Jacksonville? Well, because whoever designed the offense said we need to have somebody who can take the top off, because that's what certainly plays to Trevor Lawrence's skill set. That's what he had at Clemson. And so, Calvin, you're going to do that, right? That's part of it. The other part of it, which has been, I think, well documented, but our friend Daniel Griffiths has some new stats that I want to make sure we hit as we discuss the wide receiver position here in Jacksonville. The middle of the field. The middle of the field, when you have Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk as 2 of your primary pass-catching targets, should be an essential part of your offensive operation. Now, knowing that Brian Thomas Jr. has exceeded every expectation coming into him, that he is more than just a Z or an X wide receiver, and you see what he's been able to do in the middle of the field on crossing routes, should still be, even without those 2 marquee players, should still be something you consider. According to our friend Daniel Griffiths, in 2022, the Jaguars were among the league leaders in their use of crossing routes at 13.8% of routes run. In 2024, that's 8.3%. Why did that number drop in 2 years' time? Yes, Christian Kirk has been down since the end of October. Yes, Evan Ingram missed 4 games. Now he's done for the year. Why is it that this offensive operation continues to just forget about parts of the field? You could make the argument if that wasn't part of BTJ's skill set, but as we saw yesterday, Lauren, it is. And so that's where, again, I go to the chicken or the egg question. I go to the chicken because the structure of the offense that, yes, we question Calvin Ridley and his ability to remember the playbook and notice checks and alerts at the line, but is the actual system too sophisticated, too fixated on 3 or 4 things and not looking at the bigger picture?
Well, the middle of the field is always going to be the most congested. And so maybe they thought that it was best for their quarterback at the time, of course, Trevor Lawrence, the franchise quarterback, that he didn't have as much success in the middle of the field, that he was throwing too many interceptions, like I said, because that's the part of the field where there's going to be obviously more defenders than the outside. That would be a question that you'd have to ask them, and I have no idea if you'd get an honest, straightforward answer at that point in time. But yesterday, I thought we did see Mac Jones utilize the middle of the field quite well, with Brenton Strange thrown in there as well. Like, right. He seemed to be comfortable, other than throwing the deep ball yesterday.
Yeah, I do want to give credit to Brenton Strange too, and one of our Heeligans on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, noted too that as we were discussing Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne being your second or third best player on offense yesterday, that Brenton Strange should have an argument in that. He finished with 11 catches on 12 targets for 73 yards. If anything, that suggests whoever is calling the plays in 2024, I don't know. When they drafted Brenton Strange, I thought the expectation was we will run more 12 personnel and we will run Evan Ingram in the slot, and he is our inline blocker, but he certainly can also be a factor in the receiving game. And we really haven't seen it outside of a couple of games here and there where you could have seen both of those players being used effectively on the same play and in the receiving game. And part of that is because so many of the plays the Jaguars run, there's only 2 or 3 options of where the quarterback can go with the ball. And that's a problem. And part of that is certainly max protect, yes, and you want to, make up for the offensive line, sure, whatever. If you want to go that route, I will respect that argument. But ultimately, I look at offenses in Tampa, or I guess they were in Los Angeles yesterday, in Los Angeles with the Chargers. I look at the Detroit Lions, and I see 4 or 5 options that the quarterback has when he drops back.
I mean, at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers really only needed 2 options yesterday, Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams, and he found extreme success, obviously, with Adams, but found success overall. The point of talking about this offense and the fact that it's pretty much not just out of touch in 2024, but it's regressed over the last 2 years. Like, we can hammer that point home over and over and over again. But until they make a change, like, this is what we're dealing with next year. And I think that's where, when you have fans get so incredibly upset, not about the Trevor stuff, but about the offense as a whole and the identity of this offense moving forward, they're terrified that it's going to be the same head coach and the same play caller. And, of course, for the people that do believe in Trevor Lawrence, ruining Trevor. For the people that don't believe in him, making him even worse.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm here to talk about things other than Jaguars football, because we did have a Heisman Trophy ceremony over the weekend. Want to talk a little college football and get around the NFL as well. So there is fun stuff to talk about in the football realm, just not here in Jacksonville. So we will keep the conversation going. And we still have a couple more pairs of tickets to go see Shania Twain at Daly's Place on Tuesday, July 29th. So be listening for those. It's Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
He'll cross the line into the danger zone so you can be informed from the safety of home.
Out here, it's military law, and I'm in charge of enforcing it.
His car line takes you behind enemy lines. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
If you want to save thousands on a premium pre-owned vehicle, then you got to get to Arlington Toyota today, because it's the final days of Inflation Fighter savings going on now. Mia here, you heard right. Only days remain to score Inflation Fighter savings at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. That means the final days to put just $500 down and $288 per month for a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4 or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month, puts you in the driver's seat. Take that, inflation. Plus, Arlington's lot is packed with over 600 vehicles. You even get 60 days to love your purchase or exchange it. If you want to fight inflation and score a new ride too, then don't wait. It's the final days to get Inflation Fighter savings at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/save for details.
Integrity, persistence, and standing up for victims. It's what you want in a personal injury case, and what my friend and lawyer Glenn Cohen brings to every case for over 40 years. Call Glenn at Barnes & Cohen.
Cigar smokers, All-Pro Lyman Leon Searcy here for my favorite spot, Cigars International. The Cigars International Superstore is now open at the Town Center, a massive 6,200 square feet with over 600 cigar brands. A full-service bar and indoor and outdoor lounges with flat-screen TVs. Give their old-fashioned a try. It's the best that I've ever had. Follow on social for holiday specials and events. Cigars International is now open at the Town Center.
Prosser here for Lifetime Flooring. You've heard us rave about Lifetime Enclosures. Now let's talk about Lifetime Flooring. I can tell you firsthand, the product, services, best in Jacksonville. As you know, updating your floors is one of the most dramatic changes you can make to your home. Call the experts at Lifetime Flooring now and ask about their buy one room, get one room free promotion through Christmas. 0% financing, available to meet any budget. Visit their beautiful showroom just off Phillips Highway. And as always, tell them Prosser sent you.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free world-famous pancake combos from IHOP, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Now the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
When the home team needed a big play, they would look no further than the phenom BTJ. Mac Jones would find the wide out for a 19-yard touchdown, making the score 22-17 with 10:58 left in regulation. The Brian Thomas Jr. score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
Matt Hayes here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
For 79 years, each Gator Bowl game wrote a chapter in a story filled with excitement, celebrity, and a touch of drama. The game has seen iconic coaches like Bear Bryant, Vince Dooley, and of course, Bobby Bowden. Football stars like Larry Zonka, Archie and Peyton Manning, and Michael Vick. The 80th chapter features Duke and number 14 Ole Miss. Thursday, January 2nd in primetime on Bill Gay Grounds at Everbank Stadium. Tickets on sale now at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
Shania Twain.
Let's go, girls.
Live in Jacksonville. Shania Twain. One incredible show. Live at Daly's Place, July 29th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. For more, visit ShaniaTwain.com.
Out of this world.
I'm Max Finke with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Reigns Vikings season came to an unfortunate end in the state championship game Saturday night when they were defeated by Northwestern Miami 41-0. Reigns ran into the wrong team at the wrong time as Northwestern had shut out 4 of the last 5 teams they faced, including playoffs. Despite the loss, Reigns put up a very impressive season together, finishing the season 13-1, only losing in the state championship. The offense averaged 400 yards and 6.5 touchdowns per game, while the defense did their part with 53.5 sacks and 15 total interceptions on the season. Quarterback Timothy Cole set school's single-season touchdown passing record. Although the finish was not what they hoped for, the Reigns Vikings had a great season and no doubt will be out for revenge in 2025. It's 71 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Helmets and Heels is switched on by
First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor on 1010XL.
Another classic Shania Twain song. If you want to go see Shania in concert at Daly's Place on Tuesday, July 29th, be caller number 2, 641-1010, caller number 2, and you are on your way. I cannot wait. It is at Daly's Place, and the tickets go on sale on Friday at Ticketmaster at 10 a.m. But we do have one more pair to give away today, so of course keep listening right here. Have you ever seen Shania in concert?
I have not seen her in concert, so this is now on my to-do list for next summer. A great question from one of the Heeligans in the 850 off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Goat karaoke group sing-along for a girls' night out, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, or Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yep, I've done Girls Just Want to Have Fun karaoke. I've also done Family Tradition by Hank Williams Jr.
Ooh, okay, I like that. Okay, I like that because I said Shania, no questions asked, to which the 850 said that might be a generational divide there, a la Jordan versus LeBron.
I mean, Karaoke, so I'm someone that I like to think that I can sing, so karaoke is where I try to find a song that's in my octave.
Okay.
I can't sing super high. I know Taylor can sing a lot higher. By the way, Taylor's doll is on vacation. Aaron Rodgers did not make her run far, far away, but she has a vacation day. She'll be back with us tomorrow. But yeah, I don't want to pick songs that are just too high. It's too much work, too.
Yeah.
And plus, karaoke is more fun when the person actually sounds good singing it. And so
I can't sing, and so I just pick whatever song is in my heart.
Well, that works as well. So interesting news on the Patrick Mahomes front. We know that he suffered the ankle injury yesterday. He was diagnosed with a mild high ankle sprain, and he's still considered week to week. The Chiefs have a very tough test as they'll play 3 games in 11 days. They just played, like I mentioned yesterday, and they won. And then this Saturday, they've got the Texans at home at 1 p.m. Oh, by the way, for everybody excited about college football and the college football playoff on Saturday, you also have 2 NFL games on Saturday. You have the Texans Chiefs, and you also have the Steelers Ravens.
And we will be in Las Vegas watching on all of the thousands of wonderful giant TVs there.
Thank goodness that's where we'll be because, yeah, we need all the TVs for that. The Texans Chiefs is at 1 p.m. and then Steelers Ravens is at 4:30. And, oh, by the way, college football playoff, noon. Of course, it starts Friday night with Indiana Notre Dame, but then noon, 4 and 8 on Saturday.
Which is 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. for us.
I love
and
the
for those
Pacific
Hooligans,
time.
by the way, we've heard from a couple of you on the text line, Design My Lifetime Enclosures, who will be out in Vegas. Shout out to the Hooligan I just spoke with from Billings, Montana, who will be looking to come party with us at Circa for the Huddle Up party at the Hangar Bar on Friday night. That'll be 7 and 9 p.m. local time. As far as I know, Lauren, you don't need any tickets pre-purchased. Just show up at the Hangar Bar. We'll be there. The
Overhang.
Overhang. I keep saying Hangar Bar.
No airplanes.
I've accepted. I'm just going to get that wrong, so I'm just going to keep saying Hangar Bar. It's called Overhang. I'm going to keep saying Hangar Bar. Sorry to that Hooligan. Yes, the Overhang Bar. So just come on through, and we will have a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute blast for sure. So the Chiefs then play at the Steelers on Christmas Day at 1 p.m., and they conclude at the Broncos to be determined as far as time. But we've seen Patrick Mahomes have an ankle issue, an injury in previous games and come right back in after it got taped up. So I would not be surprised if we see the Chiefs or have Patrick Mahomes this Saturday against the Texans. The Texans are favored by 2.5, so that tells me that Vegas thinks Patrick Mahomes is sitting, at least when the line came out this week, and that he'll play probably on Christmas Day.
I mean, ultimately, Lauren, they're already
correct.
They're already in the postseason.
And that's, I bet, what Vegas is also thinking is Andy Reid's going to keep Mahomes on the bench, and Carson Wentz will come in, and Carson Wentz will see with the Chiefs taking on C.J. Stroud and the Texans, but. I mean, yeah, they don't have to have this victory.
No, Patrick Mahomes is the ultimate competitor. Would it surprise me at all if he tries to play? No, because this is a guy who every time it looks like he's dead, he's Gumby, and he bounces right back up, or he goes to the tunnel and they tape him up and they do whatever voodoo magic they do out there in Kansas City, and then he comes right back out and away he goes, and he plays the rest of the game. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does play, but with the division already locked up, a postseason berth already secured, I have no issue if the Chiefs rest him down the stretch because
I think that's the smart thing.
I think it's the smart thing to do to get him healthy and not risk further injuring, because if you don't have him in the postseason, that is where a lot of those warts that we've all talked about with this Kansas City roster finally may come back to haunt you.
Speaking of quarterbacks, yesterday we saw the Browns and the Titans both pull the starting quarterbacks. Lots of interceptions thrown between Will Levis and Jameis Winston. And now the head coaches for both of those organizations say that they don't know who will be starting this upcoming weekend. So you could have a Mason Rudolph situation as far as him starting. You could have Dorian Thompson-Robinson starting over Jameis Winston. Certainly we'll see. But, Mia, I think the other giant story right now in the NFL, the Lions and all of these injuries. Mm-hmm. We saw 2 players probably done for the season, if not 3, yesterday for the Lions as they lost to the Bills. And can this be a team that can overcome all that and still make it to the Super Bowl? It seems like the attrition there is seriously starting to hurt them.
Yeah, so it is officially a MCL injury for David Montgomery, and then for Aleem McNeil, it's a torn ACL.
Yes,
so,
and then there's the broken jaw as well.
Yes, so
for another player.
Fractured leg for Khalil Dorsey, the defensive back. Is that what, or there's a jaw?
Then there's another one that's a broken jaw.
I mean, and so that is where, and I've heard this from Pete Prisco and
Carlton
from Baselli.
Davis.
Yeah, Carlton Davis, the former Tampa Bay Bucks corner.
Yep.
And so that is where, and I'm so glad so many of you Heeligans have like seen the light and come to this side of the argument. I don't want to hear that this Jaguars team is on the defensive side of the ball, devastated by injury. They may be the healthiest defense in the NFL right now, and they still gave up 198 yards in the second half to Devontae Adams alone.
So just one player.
And that is where the Johnnies and Joes versus X's and O's.
Jimmy's and Joes.
Jimmy's and Joes. I'm calling them again. Yeah, we're off to the races here on a Big Chief Tire Monday. Point being, I don't know if it's personnel or coaching, because I look at Detroit and the next man up mentality is coming to fruition, and that speaks to culture and infrastructure and ecosystem that exists there. It doesn't matter what the name on the back of the jersey is, so long as the name on the front jersey says Lions and the system is in place and you know your role, they are still able to have success. I know they lost last night, and at some point in time, it will catch up to them in theory.
Yeah, trying to win a Super Bowl with that many season-ending injuries seems impossible.
But it's like Mahomes. Until proven otherwise, I'm going to believe that the Lions have the reinforcements that they can onboard, and put in a position to succeed.
Yeah, on Saturday, a friend of ours asked me, who do you think is going to play in the Super Bowl? And I said, as of this moment, it feels like Chiefs-Lions, because I can't ever pick against Patrick Mahomes. I can root against him, but I can't pick against him until he loses. And it feels like the Lions are heading in that direction. Now, the Bills are the Super Bowl favorite over both the Chiefs and the Lions. Like we said, after they beat the Lions yesterday, the Bills did. But it just still, I'm still not going to pick against the Chiefs as of now. I probably, though, am leaning more after the weekend, leaning more towards the Eagles. And the fact that, yes, they had a little bit of drama, but they squashed that. And that's a team that, okay, you already had those two outstanding receivers in Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown, and then you added Saquon Barkley. Choose who you want to defend. And yesterday, both the receivers went over 100 yards because the passing attack got back on track.
Yeah, because everybody mended fences, and there was the
sometimes
plane
harsh words need to be said. If
flying through the air with the message to the Eagles.
Throw the dang ball. Yes, throw the ball, because last week Jalen Hurts had just over 100 yards passing.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The weakest link on the Philadelphia Eagles right now, with all due respect, is the head coach and Nick Sirianni. And the fact that somehow, some way, these issues, whether they're on the field or off the field, just keep popping up. They keep winning, to their credit. But just like we talked about the Lions, about infrastructure and ecosystem, yes, the Eagles are winning and the product on the field is consistent. But at some point in time, him fighting with fans, yelling at fans, beef between Jalen Hurts and his receivers coming to fruition because another player did an interview with local radio and admitted it. Like, at some point in time, that's going to catch up to them, don't you think?
As of now, my issue, though, is who's better than them as far as on the football field. Like, if they can take that stuff, if they can have the honest conversations that lead to, yes, a little bit of the inside information being leaked outside, you need to keep that stuff in-house. Don't get me wrong. But if they can move past that, I mean, they're a really talented football team. And, oh, yeah, they still have the brotherly shove, right? Like, and Jalen Hurts has so many weapons. It's hard for me to think that if it's not the Lions and it's not the Eagles, who another team's going to be to come out of the NFC. As far as the AFC is concerned, if it's not the Chiefs, I think it definitely could be the Bills, but it also could be the Ravens.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the playoff picture right now. The NFC West, not to pull it to a different division, because I think the Ravens, yes, absolutely should be in consideration. Unfortunately, in the 10-10XL Fantasy Football League yesterday, Lauren, because I had a bye, I didn't actually have a game, but I had to play against myself, and I have Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, and so they're like going off, and I'm like, save some touchdowns for next week, boys. I need you to save some. Point being, the Ravens offense is clicking on all cylinders. We've discussed their defense. Zach Orr, formerly an assistant here in Jacksonville, elevated first-time DC. The passing defense has been god-awful. The run defense has once again been great. They've got some issues too, but yes, I would. If there's a team who I say they could catch fire and could make a run, the Ravens, yes. I'm looking at the playoff picture, though, and I guess it's because of just how tight the NFC West is. Like, they don't even have the fourth team listed like in the playoff picture on NFL.com right now, because the NFC West is just such a chaotic state of affairs. And to your point, I think that speaks to the top-heavy nature of the playoff field if the postseason were to begin today. It's the Chiefs, it's the Bills, it's the Lions, it's the Eagles, and maybe the Ravens.
Yeah, I didn't mention, as far as the NFC goes, I didn't mention the Vikings because
they did clinch a playoff spot.
They did. They just keep winning. Like, despite everything that I would have thought about them once J.J. McCarthy went down in the offseason with the injury and having Sam Darnold as the starter, I would never have imagined that they just literally are a team that's all they do is win. Yet, of course, they're still second in their division because the Lions have a game up. Now, those two teams finish the season against each other, the Lions and Vikings, which will be absolutely fascinating. All right, you want to talk some Heisman on the other side?
Yes, let's do it. I've already seen a couple of the Heeligans who have something to say on the MyBookie Digital Studio about Ashton Genty.
All right, we will do that when we return. It is a Big Chief Tire Monday. Find them online at wekeepjacksrollin.com. Whenever I need an oil change, when I need tires, of course, the one place I go to is Big Chief Tire. They've got 5 locations around town. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and heels.
This hour is brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers.
Here we come.
The best defense is a superior fence. Superior Fence and Rail highlights the defensive player of the game. On 1010XL, Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. Lauren Brooks here as your hometown Mazda dealer. Their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interests first without exception. And all new car purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Plan. Visit them online at hodgesmazda.com or stop in today during Mazda's A Season to Move You event and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, contact Florida First Insurance Group on University Boulevard, an award-winning Florida Blue agency well known for providing superior service. Theo Mitchelson and his team at Florida First make the process easy and stress-free with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Contact Theo Mitchelson and the Florida First Insurance Group today and let your health be their priority. And a reminder for Florida Blue members, visit Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations in town offering primary care, walk-in services, an on-site pharmacy, and mental health support. SANITAS Medical Center, Florida First Insurance Group, and Sanitas Medical Center, a winning team in Northeast Florida.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, rolling lot bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Mia Mia here for MyBookie. It's Monday Night Football time, and we've got the scoop, so let's dive into tonight's doubleheader. The Bears head to Minnesota as 7-point underdogs against the Vikings with a 43.5-point over-under. Give a look at the Bears to cover on the road. They've been pretty good against the spread of late. Game 2, the Atlanta Falcons take on the Raiders at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. The Falcons are favored by 4 points. They've shown resilience on the road. They can cover that spread. For those of you eyeing the total points, we're predicting an over-under of 44 with moments of offensive fireworks. We'll lean towards the over. Picture a high-scoring affair under the Vegas lights. MyBookie has the best odds for Monday Night Football. Remember, it's all action all the time. Bet with confidence, and be sure to check out MyBookie, the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your first deposit up to $1,000. Promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barry here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barry Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BarryOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barry Orthopedics.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
When I need gifts for special people, I go to Tobacco Cove at 3849 Bay Meadows Road. They have everything you need to make Christmas as special as they are. Find the finest in limited cigars, pipes and pipe tobacco, and the accessories that make life easier like humidors, cutters, and lighters. And don't forget Lampe Bergère fragrance lamps. So, take my advice and go to Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road, and make this Christmas one they'll remember.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Here's a special message from our president.
Thanks, David. This is Jordan Harrington, president of Royal Pest Services. We'd like to thank everyone who has trusted Royal Pest for their pest control needs this year. Wishing all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from the Royal Pest family.
1010XL is the home of Gator Nation and the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. I'm Hacker, and we keep you connected with the University of Florida all year long. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Light up your lunch with Helmets and Heels.
Presented by First Coast Lighting and Fans.
On 1010XL.
Mia O'Brien, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks. Taylor Dahl has the day off. She'll be back tomorrow. All right, so Mia, if you were a Heisman voter, would you have voted for Travis Hunter or Ashton Genty?
Travis Hunter.
And why?
Because he is doing something, and you can make the same conversation and same argument for Genty. That's why we're going to have this discussion, Lauren, that Travis Hunter is doing something we have never seen before, at least in the modern era. We have never seen a player, let alone at that altitude in Boulder, Colorado, play every snap on offense, every snap on defense, and every snap on special teams. That has not been seen in my lifetime, or at least in my sports adult viewing lifetime, and that needs to be recognized. That is a feat. I respect, and I'm going to get into the stats here, I respect what Ashton Genty has done, which is also historic. It just so happens that two historic events have taken place in the same football season, and you had to only pick one of them.
So I would have picked Ashton Genty. I would have voted for him. And while I appreciate everything Travis Hunter has done, and it's been unbelievable, and he's a great corner and he's a great receiver, which, again, we never see that in today's day and age. But Genty's team as a whole made it farther than Colorado. Boise State is in the playoff, and the fact that Genty has almost 2,500 yards and 29 touchdowns, without him, their team doesn't make it to the playoff. Colorado as a team, and again, it's not one person, but as a team didn't make it to the playoff. I get to see more of Ashton Genty and I get to see it in the 12-teamer, whereas Colorado didn't make it there. So I'm not punishing Travis Hunter because the team didn't make it necessarily, but he himself wasn't able to elevate his team to make it to the college football playoff.
So Boise State, Ashton Genty arrived in what would have been 2020? Right? Around that time, because he's a senior this year and he opted to stay. Or so 2021.
2022.
So he would have gone there in 21, 22. In 2021, Boise State went 7-5. In 2022, they went 10-4. Last season, they went 8-6. Obviously, this year, they are in the college football playoff. Point being, this is a team and a program, a true program, that has a history of winning at this level. And maybe not at the level of competing in a college football playoff. If we had an expanded playoff, though, once upon a time when they went to the Fiesta Bowl, I think they would have had something to say about that. Colorado won 2 games, not just the season before Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, and Travis Hunter showed up in town, but historically speaking, that program had cratered, had absolutely cratered, wasn't winning more than, they hadn't been to a bowl game since, I'll pull up the list, but it's not many. It's not at the rate that Boise State has been bowl eligible and been competitive in the Mountain West Conference. And so that is where I look at a player who is impacting all 3 phases, maybe not on every single play like a quarterback might, but is a driving force in all 3 phases, is one of the 2 undisputed, if only through the media, as I see some of you want to comment on X and elsewhere. He is the face. He is a leader. We hear it from his teammates. It's part of why he's an NFL draft prospect and at the top of so many teams, I would expect, wish lists once push comes to shove. He has the edge. He has the leadership quality, and he's impacting and turning around a program in more ways than one. They won 8 games this year. Last year, I know it was a fun story for a month and they fizzled out. That wasn't the end of the story. And I understand they didn't make it to the Big 12 championship game, but if I had told you in September they didn't make it to the Big 12 championship game, you wouldn't have been surprised because of the sputtering beginning of the year. The fact that Deion Sanders found a defensive line and an offensive line on his way to Orlando to play UCF at the beginning of October remains a miracle in my estimation, but it also speaks to what they have. And again, I don't know if it's a 1-season sample size or not. It speaks to what they're building, and Travis Hunter was a big part of that turnaround.
Boise State played Oregon super close, and again, Ashton Genty, with what he was able to do after contact, to me, is the reason that his team is where they are. And look, I think both players are deserving. That's why right when Travis Hunter's name was announced at the ceremony Saturday night, you saw the other 2 guys smiling. Like, it wasn't like Ashton Genty was furious by any means. Like, I'm sure he expected it. I think a lot of voters, in my estimation, probably voted earlier, so they didn't see the entire weekend of college football finish. I think a lot of them voted Travis Hunter before they saw what Ashton Genty and Boise State did, which you're allowed to vote whenever you want, I suppose. I like to wait and see, if I was a voter, wait and see and vote not until like an hour before.
I wasn't swayed by what Ashton Genty did in the Mountain West Championship. That's who he is. I knew that. I expected that. And I'm not a Heisman voter, by the way. I was not swayed by that. That didn't say to me, oh my God, now he needs to win. Just because now he is solidified as bringing his team to the college football playoff. They were the favorites. If they didn't win, that would have been more of a reason. And if he didn't perform that way, to say, hey, maybe you should wait to vote because you want to see what's going to shake out here. That did not sway me one way or another, because ultimately, again, we can have 2 once-in-a-generation feats existing in the same sport in the same season in our lifetime, and that's okay. And
it's amazing is what it is.
Right, and you can pick which one.
I hope y'all watch both of them all season long.
Right, exactly. I'll give the Ashton Genty defenders this. Derrick Henry had 2,219 rushing yards the year he won the Heisman. Ricky Williams had 2,124 rushing yards the year he won the Heisman. Reggie Bush, 1,740 rushing yards the year he won it. Lifetime Achievement Award. I digress. Mark Ingram, 1,658 rushing yards. And Ashton Genty rushed for 2,497, more than any of them, and finished in second place. So I understand those of you who are still upset about this. Sorry. For me, I just look at, and those of you who want to blame the media that we're all so in love with Travis Hunt, fine, go ahead.
It was a very close race. So I don't think media fell in love with Travis Hunter over Genty. That's why it was one of the closest races we've seen.
Right. I just come away from it, and while rushing for almost 2,500 yards is incredible, I think the idea of being a consistent top 5 wide receiver prospect and top 5 cornerback prospect because of your play in the same season. Oh, and you also went out of your way to play special teams. That is truly unique.
The interesting part was that his father did not attend the ceremony, but did speak after and say that he wants to attend Travis's wedding and certainly be there when he's drafted and things like that. And so that was able to at least put to bed some of the speculation concerning why his dad wasn't there. But at the end of the day, Travis Hunter is a guy that it's going to be fascinating to see which position does he pick to play in the NFL, and our team's going to guide him as to one or the other. When he goes through all the litany of interviews that he'll have at the combine, is he going to be asked which position he would like to play? Is he going to ask them for advice? Which position do you think I should play?
Quite honestly, and I don't want to bring this to Jacksonville, but I'm going to.
Sure,
I think that's what makes him such an appealing prospect. Not the fact that he can play multiple positions, the fact that I think he's the type of kid where he's going to show up and say, whatever you want me to play. I'm not going to be surprised if he shows up to the combine in February. He runs routes. He works out with the corners. He stays in Indianapolis for a whole week because he does work out with both positions. I'm not going to be surprised because you want to know what that shows? It shows a competitive spirit, and it shows whatever you need, coach, I will do it. And just like I don't know any team that wouldn't sign up for the talent that's Ashton Genty, I don't know any team that's going to hear him say that and be like, yeah, we're going to pass on this kid.
You have to wonder if the Jags asked Brian Thomas Jr. to play corner, and I'm not saying this would ever happen, but I think he would do it. The question is, how good would he be? When's the last time he played defense, right? Like, the reason it's so fun to watch, and it's the whole Shohei Ohtani conversation of being both a pitcher and a really good pitcher and a really good hitter, is because we don't ask players these days to do that for usually fear of injury, and especially in the NFL. Baseball, certainly pitching-wise, but in the NFL, every single player out there, you can certainly get injured. We just detailed all the Lions injuries. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. A lot of people say, well, he should pick the receiver position because receivers are paid more than corners. But if you can be the top paid corner in the league, it's not like you're hurting.
And again, not to bring it to Jacksonville, I mean, I look at it as the ultimate 2-for-1, and maybe it's because of being so close to the Jaguar situation. I just look at Travis Hunter and I say, that's a football player. And you need good football players that have edge, and he's got that. And that's where the idea of, even if he is your starting corner, but you can bring him in where he plays 15 snaps on offense, who doesn't want to sign up for that? Not just here in Jacksonville, in the other 29 other NFL cities right now.
Yeah, I feel like
it's a luxury.
Right. Look at
and then if he's a great guy in the locker room who also gives you an edge and an identity, like, you're checking every box possible. I'm very big into BOGO deals, Lauren, and this is the ultimate BOGO best shopping experience you could possibly have.
Look at the Chiefs, the team that's won the Super Bowl as of late, right? They're going for a three-peat. Wouldn't they love to have Travis Hunter and to put him at wide receiver, obviously, where they have gaping holes? But other times, I mean, they lost L'Jarius Sneed to the offseason, right? To the Titans in the offseason. Now they could have a Travis Hunter also play corner. Like, it's like you said, it's not just the Jags, not just the bottom barrel teams. It's a lot of the NFL teams.
So our friend Floyd at the MyBookie Digital Studio on YouTube points out Coach Prime is going to be in Travis's ear and say, save it for pro day. That could happen. I mean, there's plenty of players who opt to not work out in Indianapolis.
Coach Prime loves the spotlight, though.
He loves
I
the
would
spotlight.
be surprised if that's the case.
I think that, again, Travis Hunter is a competitor, and he has an opportunity to do something that, yes, you can make the argument, we all know who he is. He doesn't need to prove it to anybody. Sorry, Marvin Harrison. I think that will be a spotlight opportunity for him to showcase that athleticism, akin to one Anthony Richardson once upon a time, and the show that he put on at the Combine. And, again, that willingness to say, I'll stay here as long as you need. I'll do whatever you guys, I'll work out with both position groups. I think that is going to show more than what he actually does in those drills.
Speaking of the Heisman, DJ Lagway, put him on your short list.
Oh, yeah, I got to
Heisman
see
odds for next year.
Does MyBookie have any yet? I'm going to need to look at that during our next break.
I've seen lists of potential Heisman candidates for next year. I haven't seen odds. We do have one more pair of tickets to give away to see Shania Twain coming up at Daly's Place this summer. But right now, We have lunch for two on the ladies. That's right, lunch for two from Chick-fil-A. Be caller number 3 at 641-1010. Caller number 3, 641-1010. You'll win the lunch for two. And when we return, we will have one more pair of concert tickets for you. It's Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This hour of Helmets and Heels is brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made this process so easy. She came to my house and designed a beautiful walk-in closet that's also incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And be sure to check out their end-of-year sale, including 18-month special financing. Closets by Design, 1-800-293-3744.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Deck the halls with pipes a-leaking, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la. Oh no! Don't let plumbing ruin your season, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la. Let's go!
Uh-oh. Got a clog or a leak messing with your holiday cheer? Call Duck Duck Rooter. We're the reindeer of repairs. Fast, reliable, and ready to slay your plumbing problems.
Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la, hooray!
904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. We're flushing your worries away this holiday season.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Brian Thomas Jr. took the Jets to school Sunday in Duval. The teal and black wideout recorded 105 yards on 10 receptions and tallied 2 touchdowns on what was a special day. Number 7 isn't lucky. He's just that damn good. Brian Thomas Jr. is your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
This holiday season, Universal Roof and Contracting is making it easy to check roof repairs off your list. Get 15% off roof repairs or replacement, plus a $250 gift card to brighten your holiday shopping. Get flexible financing with payments as low as $150 a month and free roof inspections. Secure your home and your savings today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
Get the latest on the Gators from one of the greatest Gators.
Touchdown, Gators!
Chris Doring joins Dan and Jeff on the drill Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Go Gators!
Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
My name's Jim. I'm 53 years old. There should be options in life, like ways to lose weight. Medications now feel like the only option. I mean, it sounds like a guarantee. I do have friends who have lost weight with them. I tried holding off. I did other diets, but I was miserable. I'd rather be fat and happy. The problem was I wasn't happy fat. I was about to start the meds, but then I heard of Awaken 180's GLP-1 program. Turned out it does the same thing as the meds without injecting myself for life. It absolutely worked. I dropped 45 pounds. I'm now in maintenance, and I feel better than my friends who are still on the meds. Listen, I barely know what GLP-1 is. What I do know is Awaken 180 worked for me, and I was far from miserable doing it.
Thanks, Jim. You all know our success with Awaken 180, and now with Awaken 180's GLP-1 balance, you address the root causes of weight issues. Do it naturally, then keep it off. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Pick it here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Hey folks, Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. At Zero Res, we love rugs. We will treat your fine Oriental rugs with the tender and loving care they deserve. Gerard, the Zero Res rug manager, is one of the few certified master rug cleaners in Florida. If you want your rugs cleaned with tender loving care, call Zero Res. Right now, get your rugs washed and we will give you 25% off. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Baselli with his reaction this morning on The Drill to Sunday's loss against the Jets.
It feels like this year it's really, I don't want to say the same story over and over, but it's a similar storyline from the standpoint of, not being able to make plays, not being able to get stops late in the game when the game's on the line. And that's the NFL. We talk about it every week. I mean, this is a one-possession league most of the time. And it's the team that executes at the end of the game and situational football that is successful. And this year we have not done that.
Tony Baselli this morning on The Drill with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update. I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Kept classy by First Coast Lighting and Fans. Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor.
On 1010XL.
Still better love me, and I can be late for a date, that's fine, but you better be on time. Any man of mine will say it fits just right when last year's dress is just a little too tight, and anything I do or say better be okay when I have a bad hair day. And if I change my mind.
Oh, yeah. Shania Twain coming to Jacksonville July 29th. That's a Tuesday at Daly's Place. If you want to go, be caller number 1. 641-1010, caller number 1. The fastest dialer wins the final pair of tickets. Shania Twain, anyone who loves 90s country, I know loves Shania Twain. And I've never seen her in concert either. So I will absolutely be there on July 29th. If you didn't win the tickets, they go on sale on Friday. This Friday, 10 a.m., Ticketmaster.com. Buy your tickets right then and there.
I do want to put a bow on our conversation regarding the discourse surrounding the Heisman Trophy winner. Should it have been Boise State's Ashton Jeanty? Should it have been, as it was, Travis Hunter of Colorado? From 508 off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. If Jeanty rushed for that many yards, 2,497, in the SEC, he wins the Heisman. Continuing that, and I want to make sure I get it here, not from the one who said this is an unpopular opinion, that Travis Hunter is going to be a bust in the National Football League. But hey, if you have that opinion, that's fine. I saw one of you who also noted that if Travis Hunter was to be on Boise State, he does not bring that team to the college football playoff the way Ashton Jeanty did. And so that is the other end of the spectrum and the argument that can be made for the Boise State running back.
It is fascinating that it went to someone who's not a quarterback. It feels like it's become a quarterback award. And really, at the end of the day, Mia, I think the Heisman is a trophy and an award that was far more celebrated 30 years ago than it is today, even maybe 20 years ago. Nowadays, I think ultimately who wins the national championship is celebrated far more than just the player that wins the Heisman.
Yes, because I think that there is still, for some voters, and we're going to get to basketball here momentarily, and I think much like the AP vote for both football and basketball, I think it's the same way with the Heisman. There are those who have a certain criteria who believe it should go to the best player on the best team or the player that elevates the team, that means the most to their team, and there is no outlined, articulated, this is what the award should represent.
It's most outstanding player in college football.
Right.
But how do you define outstanding?
Bingo. And that is where I think, not that it's lost its lust, but I think that Luster, excuse me. I'm having a banner of a Monday, folks. Not that it's lost its luster, but I think the value of, again, Travis Hunter is not going to be playing in the playoff, but you could argue that he did the most for his team because he played, quite frankly, the most snaps of any player in the country for his team versus, hey, this is a guy who carried a team to the college football playoff. You also could make the argument, does it need to go to the quarterback on the best team because they touch the ball the most, if only on offense, more than any other player, and they are on the best team?
And we won't know who the best team is until January.
Correct.
Because the college football playoff is going to obviously stretch out into next month. And so, yeah, some people wish that the Heisman vote would be after the full season ends because then you'd give it to, the quarterback potentially or running back of the national championship winning team. But we do have the college football playoff starting Friday night. So get excited about that. All you college football fans, like Mia said, college basketball in full swing, UNF, JU, Florida, and Florida State all got victories on Saturday, and the Florida men's basketball team continues to demolish everything in front of it. And Florida now number 7 in the AP Top 25.
You stole
Undefeated.
you stole my thunder there, RJ. Let's imagine something for a second.
Imagine with Closets by Design.
Imagine your home totally organized.
Oh, I love my friends at Closets by Design. I'm so excited for them to officially install my walk-in closet in January. The new year going to be starting out nice and fresh. Can't wait for that to come. Imagine for a second, folks, a team that is ranked number 5 in the all-important NCAA net ranking. A team that is ranked 10th at the new Bart Torvik rankings that track efficiency in terms of turnover percentage, field goal rate, et cetera, et cetera. Ken Pomeroy, that's been around for a while. This same team is now up to number 7. They have been over the last 4 weeks a top 10 team in Ken Pom. And at one of the new metrics, Evan Mia ranked 8th. And yet, Lauren Brooks, there are still national pundits that are upset that team, that again, is ranked 8th on Evan Mia, 5th in the net, 10th on Bart Torvik, 7th on Ken Pomeroy. They say they shouldn't be in the top 10, despite clocking in at number 7 in this week's AP poll, despite sporting a 10-0 record and defeating opponents by an average of 13-plus points, demolishing everything in their path. I listened this morning, as I do each and every week, because I want to be an informed AP voter on the men's basketball front. I listened to my friends at the Ion College Basketball Podcast who were very critical of Florida because they were the only team, Lauren, in the AP Top 25 last week that did not have a Top 70 Ken Pom win on their resume coming into the weekend. Arizona State is going to be ranked in the top 70. And this morning, my friends over at CBS had the audacity to say, well, they don't have a top 55 Ken Pom ranked win. Stop moving the goalposts. Accept that the SEC is the best conference in men's college basketball. They went 13-1 over the weekend. LSU, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it a clean sweep. And Florida is demolishing every team in their path, including the Bubble Boys' darling, the Metrics Mafia's darling, Wake Forest, who they destroyed on a neutral court over the Thanksgiving holiday down in Orlando. And they now have done the same to Bobby Hurley and Arizona State. And I believe, as much as I had concerns, and I expressed those to you, Lauren, on Friday, I believe, if nothing else, we are in for a thriller in Charlotte tomorrow when the Gators face UNC.
If you haven't watched Florida men's basketball play, and you want to be someone who wants to critique them, then you're an idiot, basically, because I don't think you could have watched this team play and not say it's a top 10 team. They're 10-0, and yes, they've played.
And there are teams that are 10-0 that you can make the argument, like Cincinnati up until this weekend, Oklahoma. You could say, all right, well, who have they really played? And they've eked a couple of victories out.
But it's college basketball early season, and you're not, unless you're a mid-major, you're not going to necessarily have some statement victories. Yes, some teams have in some of the tournaments. But
also, when Todd Golden made the schedule, Wake Forest was supposed to be a top 55 Ken Pom opportunity.
Well, you have North Carolina tomorrow night for Florida, and Walter Clayton Jr. for people who have watched this team. They have to, like me, have watched him every dribble last year and still say, how is he doing some of the things he's doing? And then, of course, adding Elijah Martin was so incredibly smart by Todd Golden in the transfer portal. Keeping Will Richard around and Clayton certainly not going to the draft has been huge. But overall, yeah, if you're a doubter, I suppose, then when Florida takes on North Carolina, and again, it's not a top 10 North Carolina team by any means, but that can hopefully shut the doubters down, because you said it on Friday, when's Florida going to lose? And I said, they're going 2-0.
Well, we had a Healigan who already has tickets for January 4th, Tennessee, Florida, collision course. Could it be not only two undefeated teams, but the two top teams in the SEC at that juncture? Certainly Auburn, who demolished Ohio State over the weekend. Janai Broome, 21 points, 20 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 0 turnovers. He is the front runner for National Player of the Year.
He was supposed to go to Florida.
Yeah, he was. The Morehead State transfer once upon a time. I mean, shout out to Bruce. Bruce remains undefeated. Shout out to Bruce Pearl. Point being, I do think that Auburn, while they have one loss on the resume, has something to say about being a top 2 team in the conference. But that would be amazing to have 2 of the last remaining undefeateds in the country playing on January 4th at the O-Dome.
But Florida takes on Kentucky, number 4 in the country, the week before that Florida-Tennessee matchup. So that if Florida's
top 55 Ken Pom opportunity, top 55 Ken Pom opportunity.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if Florida does lose at Kentucky, but we've seen weaker teams lose at Kentucky, obviously, and we've seen stronger teams. But
Kentucky did pick up a nice win over the weekend, but Louisville covered the spread in that rivalry game at Rupp Arena. We were talking about Pat Kelsey, the head coach, who, when asked about his odds and the season that they've had so far, they're now 5-5. They were 5-4, and he was the one who said, "My kids are healthy. I get free shoes from Adidas, and my wife is hot." So they did cover the spread, and that was against a Kentucky team that, by their standards, wasn't necessarily operating on full cylinders.
Florida, Kentucky, 11 a.m. tip for that one. That one's January 4th, and then Tennessee at Florida, January 7th. So much good stuff to watch in the world of sports, that's for sure. All right, RJ, let's cool down.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
I don't know what confuses me more, how the Jaguar struggles always go back to Trevor Lawrence, or the fact that the Travis Hunter-Ashton Genty debate is still going on 48 hours later, except that you can have 2 amazing feats in the same calendar year, in the same sport, and let's celebrate that. I think that's okay. Also, we got an hour and 48 minutes into the program, Lauren, and we did not address, for the Knowles fans out there, Florida State. Mike Norvell has restructured his contract. He will contribute $4.5 million of his salary back to the university.
Is that an I'm sorry?
I'd say, hey, we're all friends here. We want to share the wealth. I care about, getting, if the rumors are true that the boosters over at Florida raised enough money to fire Billy Napier, and when they didn't, they said, we're going to use that money for NIL. He's like, oh, now I got to compete, so I got to make sure we got some money too. I find it interesting. I also found the hire of Gus Malzahn interesting, and I know there are those who are excited about the move, and then there are those like myself who say, oh no, is this just to have an interim potential head coach in place?
Yeah, I'll cool down with the hottest concert around. Shania Twain coming to Jacksonville. Daly's Place. Tickets go on sale on Friday morning at 10 a.m. Congrats to the 3 winners from today. But again, you can get your tickets on Friday morning. And the fact that the Jaguars head to Las Vegas for this weekend's tilt, a Raiders team that it feels like the Jaguars will defeat. So I believe the Jags win probably one more game this season. I do think it comes on Sunday. I know some people aren't excited about the Jags winning because of the draft order and things like that. I still think they'll get a great draft pick. So I think it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun in Vegas. And like Mia said earlier, come hang out with us at the Overhang Bar Bar at Circa on
Not
Friday.
Hangar Bar. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.
If you're going to Vegas as well. All right, Taylor Dahl will be back tomorrow. For Mia O'Brien, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. XL Primetime comes up next.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.